Here is every single new Terraria PAL, including a level 65 maxed out Eye of Cthulhu. Boys, was good. So we're going to test out each and every one of the new Terraria PALs. I've caught them all, and we're going to see which ones are super good. Now, we're not expecting too much out of this, because I believe most of these are like early game to mid game PALs, but we do have the level 65 Eye of Cthulhu that I've spent a ton of dog coins really maxing out. So we'll see how good that is. First of all, we'll just go over the list here. It looks like we have a ton of different slimes, and then we have some other unique, interesting ones. So we have 6 different kinds of slimes: the purple, the illuminate, the red, the blue, the green, and the rainbow. So we are going to see what all of those do. It looks like they don't really have any base uses. They only have level 1 transporting, and their attack and stuff is just not the highest. So I don't really know what these are useful for. I believe they have one ability, and that is that you can ride them if they are in your inventory. So let me put that in there, but you don't need to craft the saddle. So all you have to do is catch one, and then you can hop on him and ride it, and apparently it can jump high into the air. Okay, so that actually is pretty high. All right, I can see why that would be useful for like early game players or anything like that, because traversing the map in the early game is super annoying, but I'm really not sure how they are in combat. So let's make him fight this guy over here. Prickster, come here, buddy. You're going to have to fight my slime, and let's see how good they are in combat. Again, I don't think they're that amazing in PvP, so I feel like he's just going to get absolutely wrecked, and it looks like he's kind of putting up a fight, but yeah, no, he's going to lose to just a regular level 43 Prickster. So let's pull him back before he dies. That's definitely not the best thing for the slime. So let's test out one more thing. There's no use going over every single slime at once, because I believe they're all pretty much the same thing, but let's put them all out and see if they're maybe better as like a group, because on 1v1 it's definitely not the best. So it seems like they're doing a little bit better in a group, but still these pals are really nothing special, so we're just going to move past these very fast. But if you're in the early game and you think maybe it's worth it to grab one just to be able to bounce up super high like this, I mean, I can see where you're coming from, but I feel like that's really the only use. They're pretty much all the same. They only have level 1 transporting. They don't really have any active skills. They all have the same partner skill, and they don't really have the best attack and defense and everything. So I would really not recommend putting these out at your base. But the bats I haven't looked at yet. So let's see what the bats are up, and let's see what's going on with them. Before we go on to the next pal, just a quick reminder, I'm adding a bonsai tree for every single subscriber we get on these videos. And if you want to sign with your name next to your bonsai tree, comment your name. So sub up if you want. You get your own bonsai tree permanently in my main base. So 2 different types of bats, the cave bat and the illuminate bat. I guess that's just kind of like a shiny version or something. And the partner skill they have is while in team appears next to the player and automatically picks up nearby items. So I mean, that seems pretty cool. Let's maybe go kill a pal real quick and see if it picks up the item super fast or something, whatever that means, and let's see how well it does. So go pick up the items, guys. It's not really picking up the items, guys. Hello. Hello, do your job. Maybe it has to be out with E. I don't know. Okay, alright, let's give it one more chance. Maybe pick up the item? Cave gut? Hello? Guys? Alright, I don't know. Maybe it just needs to be at your base or something. I'm not gonna lie, if it's only at your base, like, that's cool and all, but I don't really see what the point of that is. Maybe it doesn't pick up items from PALs or whatever, but so far these bats definitely do not have the highest rating. So let's see what their partner skills are or whatever. So yeah, we already know it picks up nearby items. It doesn't have the best attack or defense, and only level 1 gathering. It's pretty much the same as the slime. These bats, I mean, they're really just not useful. But now we can get into the big guns. So this Enchanted Sword, it's only level 44, but it has a much higher attack and a little bit of a higher defense, and it looks really cool. Plus, when I was in the cave getting these pals, this was definitely the most annoying and was doing the most damage. So this will definitely do a little bit better in combat, I feel like. Let's test it out over here on these birds. There we go. Enchanted Sword, go out there and start attacking. Let's see what you can do. So yeah, it has some really cool attacks, and it looks like it's going to be pretty hard to attack. Like, look, it's kind of dodging all of their attacks and everything. I feel like this is definitely the best pal in the series right now out of all the pals we have. And yeah, it's kind of a lower level, but it's definitely doing a ton of damage to this bird, and it's not getting hit at all. I don't even know where it went. It looks like it kind of ran away or whatever, but it's really good at dodging attacks. I say that as it just gets hit head on by that attack right there, but it seems like it's really good at dodging attacks. Not sure why it's just AFK right now. Maybe it's on cooldown or something, but I would definitely say this is the best out of the Terraria pals so far. But again, just nothing special. None of these pals are really going to be anything too special because these are all like early to mid game pals, but they're still pretty cool with the way they look and the way they attack and everything. The sword is definitely the best so far, but let's pull out the big guns. The Eye of Cthulhu, that is really the only one I'm going to be excited for. Like the rest of these are kind of just mid. So let's see his stats, let's see his partner skills. When activated, Eye of Cthulhu charges and attacks enemy targets. So that seems pretty good right off the bat. I really maxed him out. You can see he's 4 stars right now. Plus, I put a ton of dog coins into making him as strong as humanly possible. So he has 1,000 attack, 800 defense, and 98 work speed, which is pretty decent. It's nothing crazy, but pretty good. So let's see how he does versus some of these birds. First of all, guys, side note, I hate how like low range all the weapons have. Like it's really hard to hit any of these birds. Look how close I have to get with the overheat rifle. It's really annoying. But anyways, let's test out the Eye of Cthulhu. It just seems like he charges into battle here, and let's use his ability, guys. I'm holding F. This is going to be his ability. I'm not really sure what it is. It seems like it's just his normal attack, but Bane, he goes into this little like mad mode where he shows his teeth and everything, and he just attacks the pals. Plus he has a ton of health and everything, and he has some other special abilities where he can like summon a bunch of tiny little eyes. I tested him out a little bit before this video, but it seems like this bird is just going to get destroyed before he even uses that ability. Like he has one ability where he can summon a bunch of eyes, and I want to go test that out actually. So we're going to go bring him to a stronger pal, because it seems like that bird was a little bit too easy for him. He's the only one so far who can actually like win his fight. The rest of them were just doing okay. Like the sword was doing pretty good, but obviously the slimes or the bats or whatever, they really don't stand the chance versus these normal pals out here. So let's see how the Eye of Cthulhu does versus a boss pal. Oh, okay, that is his ability. He does like 10 times the amount of damage if you use it, and you can use it every 30 seconds. So that's really good. I really want to see him use his little ability where he summons a bunch of minions. It seems like he hasn't really got into the groove of that yet, and it seems like he doesn't really need to do that because he's just winning all the fights. Like, hello bro, summon your minions so I can show off, man. Oh, there we go. You kind of see he's shooting a bunch of little eyes, and they stay at the bottom there. They stay at the bottom and keep doing damage to whatever pal he's fighting. So you can see he's actually doing a really good amount of damage. And remember, this is a boss pal, so he has like a ton of good defense stats and everything. So these attacks really aren't going to do too much, even if you're like Jetragon or something. But he's actually single-handedly beating level 54 Terra out here in the desert without even losing too much health. Like, look at all of his health, and he's doing a really good amount of damage. Like, he's doing like 5 times the amount of damage as my overheat rifle, and this is like a level 64 rifle or whatever. So, oh no, the pal's mad at me now. However, my Eye of Cthulhu definitely is taking charge here and doing what he has to do. So this is definitely the best pal out of all the Terraria pals. We'll just go ahead and finish this off. Again, there's nothing special with all of these pals, but at least you guys know now after watching this which ones you should use your time getting. The Eye of Cthulhu is really the only one worth it, unless you're super early game and you manage to find yourself with any of the slimes. That should be a tiny bit of a priority just because you can jump super high, and it's kind of fun. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like it, and they look pretty cool too. They don't look crazy or anything, but this one changes colors pretty fast. He jumps pretty high. It looks pretty cool. So I would only get the slime and the Eye of Cthulhu. The rest of them, the sword and everything, might be useful in some cases, but you can find a lot stronger pals. So I'm going to dip out, guys. Let me know what you guys think of this update, or if you've been using it. Oh wait, what was that? Oh, okay, I just discovered this last second. I didn't even know you could use his attacks like that. If you use his attacks in mid-air, it jumps you even higher, and then you can bounce down and do a ton of damage. So hold on, real quick before we end the video, I was going to say sub up if you want your own bonsai tree, but we got to discover how good this rainbow slime is and using his ability. I hate how he goes so slow. Like, even though he jumps high, he's super slow. It would be like pretty cool if you could roll with him and he would be pretty fast, but let's see how he does with his ability that I didn't even like recognize. I thought it would just be an annoying attack, but it actually looks pretty good. So okay, alright, that was a little anticlimactic. It does a little bit of damage. Wait, did I just do 800 to him? Okay, no, he did 800 to me. Alright, it wasn't as crazy as we thought, but I had to show it off. It does a good amount of damage, but again, nothing crazy. And it looks like even with this ability, he's still going to lose the fight, but at least he jumps pretty high. I mean, that's pretty cool.